So let's just say for tax purposes, right? Let's say that now the parents passed away, now the kids have the property. What is the difference again? Because a lot of people already have created wills. So what's the difference between having the property in a will and now going through probate, going through the headaches that we just said we don't want to go through? What are the tax issues that are not tax issues, but what are the tax liabilities they're going to have versus if now they had actually done the trust a while back? Are there a difference in taxes between a will and a trust for someone that inherits a home?
Okay, so tax questions, I do like to refer those to accountants because they are in the best position when it comes to each specific case to really give the best tax advice. As it stands right now, there is a tax inheritance or a state exemption of up to $11 million per person. So as long as the house is less than $11 million or the total gross assets are less than $1 million, there's not a tax consequence for the person inheriting. We, as estate planning attorneys and the financial industry people, do anticipate this is going to change soon because under the new administration and under COVID, we've incurred a lot of debt as a country. They do believe that the best way to recoup that is to lower that tax rate exemption so that when people die, their estates can be taxed and we can start to fill back in the deficit. So we do think that at some point that number will change. We don't know what that is and when that'll be. In the meantime, if your tax is less than if your estate value is less than 11 million, there's not as much of a tax concern to worry about. Mainly what I think people should know is that as a trustee, if I'm the daughter of a parent who's got the house, they set up the trust and the house is in the trust, and I'm now going to be taking over as the successor trustee, there's not a tax consequence at that point. So I have the authority right away to sell the property, to rent out the property. The main thing is the decision of whether to keep the assets in the trust. So when I sell the house, do I want the proceeds of the house to go back into the trust and then be invested? Or do I want to distribute the sales proceeds to the beneficiaries? And that's going to be a sort of a financial decision of how do you want to protect those assets. So for example, the reason trusts are great is because they give asset protection and for the beneficiaries. And so if money comes out to me in my name from that trust, it's subject to my creditors, it's subject to predators. So if I get divorced, I've inherited money and now my spouse gets half of that. And so that might not have been the intention of my mom when she created this trust for me to inherit. She wanted it to go to me, to her grandchildren, etc. So in that case, it's recommended not to take the money out, but to leave it in trust, invest it, buy another house, and put that new house in the name of the trust.
And that's only if you have a trust. So if you have a will, you can't do this?
Well, you can there is something called a testamentary trust where you put into your will that when I die, I want everything to go in trust to my children. I don't like testamentary trust wills because it has to be probated in order to get the trust. So I say to my clients, why do you want to go through the court to get your trust when I can just create one for you now?